Mm, I guess let's start over here.
Yeah, I think it's written on here.
Okay. Okay. Hi guys, welcome to SRQC YouTube channel. Today we have Dr. Ruchi Sahu. Uh, she will guide us around the research pathways, which is based in US. Okay. बस एक बार आप थोड़ा सा खुद को अच्छे से इंट्रोड्यूस वगैरह कर दीजिए लाइक
Yeah, thank you. Hi, Astik, and thank you for very much for introducing me. Hi, everyone. I'm Ruchi. I am a physician from India. I completed my MBBS from SMS Medical College and completed my internship in 2018, and then started my pathway as an MPH graduate student in epidemiology at Texas A&M. And currently, I'm working as a research assistant at Vanderbilt Dermatology Translational Research Clinic, Vanderbilt Medical Center, Nashville. And thank you so much for inviting me here. So glad to be here.
okay. So boss, let's start with the first question. Like uh, MPH MD और MSN सबसे डिफरेंट कैसे है और एक्चुअल में MPH होता क्या है?
So, MPH is a master's in public health, and how it is different from MD or MS, I would say. So, MD or MS, MD in community medicine, if you take an example per se in India, it's a, like an a post graduation degree, and MPH is a master's course which can lead to pathways for research, and I think it's a very broad aspect. Like when you come to US, so you have to choose a major in which you want to do an MPH. Like there are majors like epidemiology, biostatistics, health policy, environmental. So even before coming to US, like thinking about MPH, you have the first question you need to ask yourself on which major you want to do the MPH. I personally choose epidemiology because, like epidemiology is familiar to us in the third year of PSM. So yeah, it was a familiar thing to me, and I chose epidemiology. So it's kind of different because, like I said, in MPH you have to decide which major you're gonna choose. It's a 2 year course, and it's a different from MD and MS. It's not a residency training per se, I would say.
Okay, boss. तो मतलब it's kind of masters. It's a master's course and different from residency mainly, which is around research in public health.
Yeah. You don't have to go through the whole USMLE pathway. The MLE pathway, I want to clarify this thing. I think this was a doubt for many students. You don't have to go through MLE pathway to pursue MPH. There are option of doing public health residency in US. I have seen, I think John Hopkins does that. But for MPH degree, you don't have to go through the USMLE pathway.
Okay. और मतलब अपने को एज एन अगर एमएलई के पाथवे की जरूरत नहीं होती तो फिर बस दूसरा पाथवे है क्या ये मतलब
Okay, so for MPH के लिए I think whenever you have made up your mind कि मुझे करना है, उसके लिए सबसे पहले you have to decide the place. Like I have chosen US, and US का curriculum to get into MPH is like you have to choose a major, and there is a whole application process. Application process involved, you have to have your mark sheet. So whatever MBBS degree transcript you have, and there's where I think the role of your MBBS marks takes into place. I know, I think they think like MBBS mark doesn't matter, but I think it does at some point, because your whole transcript, your whole MBBS aggregates get converted into a GPA of on a scale of 4. So on a scale of 4, you get an GPA, and then you have to frame your statement of purpose, which is also a very important thing. A statement of purpose does involve like why you want to go it, and it should be personal. It should not be curated or framed. It should be your personal story, telling you what motivated, you telling yourself like to them what motivated you to go to that pathway. And besides SOP, your GPA, you will need to have 3 letter of recommendations with the application. And for letter of recommendation, I would suggest having one, if you are going from MBBS pathway, one from the community medicine department. I that should be must, because I think that that way we can actually highlight how we went to the urban health training center, rural health training center, and kind of field knowledge work we had. And then we can also other two. I think other two I just took clinical from, one I took from medicine and one I took from ENT department. But yeah, this thing I would like to highlight, that if you have decided to go pursue this MPH pathway, do some research beforehand. First think about which major you want to do MPH in, like epidemiology. So epidemiology is a separate major, biostatistics is a separate major, health environment, health policy, health education, in which major particular you want to do the MPH. And second, then you have to start framing, I mean preparing things according to it, like preparing for statement of purpose, gathering your LORs, and of course the GPA things, because you have to actually generate your transcript from RUHS. That's what I did, and then you have to send it to World Education Service in US, and it takes around, I think, around 1 month. Your transcript comes back, and then you apply during through the SOFAs. So there is a portal called School of Public Health Application Services, SOFAs, and it is a common portal to apply for MPH, and I think few of the PhD courses as well. So that's where you apply. So whenever you plan, you have to be one, I think minimum, if I'm coming for the fall of August 2022, I started preparing for it in around September 2021. So that's how it long takes, because once you got selected, you have to think about the visa as well, right? You have to apply for the visa, you have to get the slot for the visa. So I would say around approximately around 8 to 9 months, or I would say whole 1 year before you should start preparing for these things.
Okay. So, boss, how does one go about LORs?
Yeah, thank you, Asif. That's a nice question. So for letter of recommendation, I think, so even for me, because honestly I was going back to my college, I think after 2 3 years, and I'd asked me for the letter of recommendation. But I knew this thing that we did a lot in PSM. If you guys remember, we used to go to the rural health training center, USTC, RSTC, NILA posting. I don't know if you guys have right now, but we had NILA posting. So I knew that we did a lot there used to be camp, and also there was one respiratory center. So this thing, when I talked with people, I knew that we did a lot. Being with SMS, we got a lot of exposure. We just have to highlight that and talk with the professor about it. So yeah, this is what I did. I went to the PSM department, talked to the head of the department at that time, and expressed my interest. And you just have to tell them, actually, because when you are going like 2 3 years back, they will definitely not going to remember what you have done. You just give, even if you can give those bullet points, like I went to this, from this to this, I did this, I was there in this, I also participated during my class when I had to do presentation. Very minor thing, but if you can just provide them with what you have done and can remind them in any way. So this is how I went by. So community medicine, I think LOR should be very strong, because in a way you are transitioning to that part. And apart from that, I would say other two I took from the clinical, like medicine and ENT. In that, I didn't, you just have to tell that you did some clinical rotations and attended some classes, ward living. Overall, I just want to say that whenever you are collecting LORs from any professors, you are going, you have to remind them, because of course they are not going to remember things which you have done. You have to come with the bullet points you have done. And so just you remind, and what you want to highlight, that is also a very important aspect. Because when I was taking LOR from the community medicine, and I knew I'm transitioning into public health, you need to highlight that yes, you went to the urban health training center, we went to the rural health training center, we have like district posting as well. Overall, I think, yeah, Naila, the rural posting as well. So you have to highlight these things if you have taken part in any campaigns, awareness. So overall, you just have to think whatever you have done relevant to that thing. Like public health is all about preventive measure, raising awareness and research. So whatever you have done relevant to that, you have to highlight whenever you are going to take LOR from the professor. So this thing, I think it's very important to keep in mind. whenever you considering taking LOR from any professor.
Okay, boss. But boss, why did you choose the MPH pathway? What motivated you?
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question, actually. So, MPH, honestly, MPH was not in my mind when I was in my graduating years. I didn't actually know about MPH. To be very honest, I didn't know about MPH. I was just thinking, okay, I'll do MBBS, MD, and I'll go through that path. I think during the COVID, this what happens, like public health came into light, and I think everyone would have understood what role public health could play, and that what I can also see. We were actually waiting on the research results that were coming from the WHO or CDC. We were just waiting. Okay, if there is new vaccine, if there is something we can think of. So that was the time. I don't know. I felt like I honestly felt like if I could do that, if I could, if I could be the one taking participate in those researches which is going over there, right? So that we are just waiting for any update from them, so that we don't have to be so much waiting on them, and can't be I part of that thing. Having said that, but I would also highlight the main question as a physician or as a medical student you should ask is, would you be okay transitioning yourself into a path where you will be on the clinical research? I think that's the first question you should ask yourself. Because of course your life being as a physician would be different, as a clinical researcher would be different. You won't be treating patient per se, you won't be giving treatment to the patient. Having said that, you will also have opportunities to collaborate, to think about it. So if your mind like to work in creative ideas, if you have a lot of patients to think upon, if you like to work with people and collaborators, so these all things I asked myself if I could do these things, and when the answer was yes, I could survive in this kind of life and I would enjoy it. That's when I decided to, okay, I should take this pathway as an MPH graduate.
Okay. So, boss, did you ever had before this pathway any research experience or anything? Did you did have you done something research and everything?
Thank you for asking. Yeah, I think I did not. I was not actively involved in SMS Medical College or research. I was purely into clinical medicine. I mean, all the postings. I didn't think it through. And if you ask me right now, that was the main reason. Actually, I got excited when I saw you guys' page. I was very happy to see that now you people are very active on it. Every I think I see you guys videos and shorts coming up on Instagram or YouTube. It's a very good thing. I personally did not, and I think I started from scratch when I came here. And yeah, so I did not have any experience in research, and I'm glad that people now and students now are are being active on it.
Okay. So, boss, how did your journey went through?
Okay, so my
You
journey, yeah. Mhm.
you
Okay.
started after lockdown or during lockdown, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. So, yeah, to answer that, my journey for, I mean, just focusing on whole the MPH pathway started in September 2021. I like to be very, if I have to give you like little details, I actually have to go to RUHS. I didn't know that we need to collect the transcript. So I collected my transcript. I sent it to West to get my GPA done. And by that time, I was taking TOEFL exam. You have to take the English proficiency exam. So around like 20-25 days, of course, you have to prepare if you are thinking to pass it on one go with a good score around 100. And then also for LORs, I went around. I think for December, I was taking LORs, and by the end of December, I submitted my all the applications. Uh, I would like to highlight here one thing, like you asked about my journey, and since I'm giving you a very small detail, so while you start the you do the application process, you have to choose universities, right? You have to choose universities. You of course you cannot randomly apply in all of that, because you have to take some consideration into mind. First thing first is comes the finance. So that's why, as international student, I only applied to the public universities here. So public universities are cheaper compared to the private universities. So this should be your first consideration, which universities you are applied to. Okay. And second thing I would say, during application also, you the major, of course, the major, which major you want to do. And major does not only impact your, I would say, the study curriculum. Your visa, your F1 visa will also depend on the major you are choosing. How it is like, if you are doing your masters in STEM major, STEM, conflict, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So epidemiology comes under it in many of the institutes. So if you are doing your masters in this major, you will get 5-year visa. 5-year visa, F1 student visa, like 2 years of master, 3 years of OPT training period. So overall, in my journey, I mean, these are the things also you have to, take into account. Like I because I didn't simply want to say that I did the application. It's not for application also, you have to think like, okay, which university I'm going to choose, and which majors I'm gonna choose. And even you have to contact that university, or go to the Department of Homeland page to see if this major comes under STEM in that university. So these all kind of homework you have to do before submitting the application, and it's a very important. And I think one good part you can do is, and which I personally did, is I joined the Facebook group. There are many Facebook group, or I think people are now also active on LinkedIn about the MPH incoming fall 2022 MPH. I joined that group, and that was very helpful for me because I could connect with colleagues and know that, okay, which universities to apply to and which would be cheaper, even the place where you're going to live. So you have to think all the way through round, and then submit your application and think about it.
Okay. So, boss, how does a day of a research assistant look like?
Yeah. Okay. So I work as a research assistant in Nashville. So Nashville is a music city, if you may know. So it's a music city, and I work as a research assistant at Vanderbilt Dermatology Translational Research Clinic. And my day, so yeah, so my day typically comprises of various aspects. So it usually start at 8. I go to the lab. We do some, go through some emails if I have to respond to, look at my priorities, tasks which I have to do. But I think the most interesting part about aspect of my day as a research assistant is where I need to meet with the collaborators. So I, along with my director, who is a dermatologist, we go to our collaborators, division chief of rheumatology, and also meet the director from the biomedical division. And when we all sit, and then we decide how to move forward, being in a collaboration for that particular research. These things actually kind of excites me, these aspects, even if it's like 1 or 2 hour meeting with them, everyone. But when you sit together, you everyone actually takes great, okay, I'll do this. If I'm a clinician from background, okay, so I can say, okay, I can take part in analyzing this thing. And these kind of high energy meeting makes your mind also wander through to think through how you can go about the research. Another good aspect of a day as a research assistant, I would say, is to have live patients. So I also go with my director whenever we have live patient of the graft versus host disease, GVHD live patients, and we take the live patient training. Another good aspect is, of course, we are doing I'm being trained in non-invasive device myotone for patients. So this is also a very good aspect. So I think as a research assistant, your day will, your some days, or yeah, of course, some days you will be just sitting behind the computer looking through the data or thinking about it, spending hours on it. But it varies, some days are, you're working, you are with train on the patient, you are with collaborators, you are in a meeting, or you are just sitting behind the computer working on your data.
Okay. So, boss, how are the dermatology tools and research work used?
Yeah, so thank you for asking. Even I did not, honestly, I did not had any idea if we can use skin in so many ways like we are doing it here. So we are like a team of clinicians and engineers. And what we are doing is we are using this skin to measure various, severity of various diseases which impact, which have their clinical manifestation of it. So I'm currently working on two main projects, I would say. First is the graft versus host disease, and second is the using non-invasive device like myoton for to see the severity of the disease like systemic sclerosis or scleroderma. So my role is, as a physician, we have photos from our collaborators. So this project which I'm this project is a big project, and it has like multi-site. We have collaborators from NIH, UPenn, Mayo Clinic, and Vanderbilt being the center. So my role as a clinician, we have a lot of GVHD patient photos. So I will use my knowledge to see where is the erythema, because we know skin is the main manifestation for GVHD. So, and for this, even for this annotation, I'm being trained to use different software, open software like QPath, if you may know. So different annotations, how to generate super pixels. So this is how we do. And then after us doing, the artificial intelligence team, they train their model so that they can pick these things earlier to make easier for clinicians as well. So this is the one part. And the second, which I explained about the myoton. So this is a non-invasive device, myoton. It's a simple handheld device. And what we simply do is we just have to put on a like seven side both on the patients, and to see the skin parameters like stiffness, creep, frequency, and based on that we can see if the disease has progressed or not. So in a way, I would say that overall we are using different tools, non-invasive tools, to measure the progression of disease, which taking the skin as the main account. And I honestly don't have any idea. We can use this so much with the skin. I didn't think that dermatology honestly will go so beyond, and I myself would be able to actually use those tools, because I was a non-technical person. I honestly didn't know that I can actually open this, app and softwares and can generate super pixel. But I think, yeah, if these things excites you, if using that devices and checking one patient, and of course, even after checking the patient, I can use my MPH skill to, work with team to analyze that data. So this is how dermatology, in a dermatology field, also you can use so many things to measure and address the various systemic diseases.
Okay. So, boss, how has your time been at Texas A&M?
Yeah, I think my time as Texas A&M was mixed, honestly. As a grade, I would say, because that what makes you prepare for the real world. I honestly, I like I said, I started from scratch for research. I didn't have any clue. And so Texas A&M University, I would say, or the university where I go to the master, is something which make you accustomed with how the culture, the education system helps you. So the first thing first, I think I still recall my first group discussion class, where we were asked to have our ideas on, I don't remember the topic. I think that was like, how will you raise awareness, and we just have to discuss our ideas. That's where I had to shift my mind from learning definitions. Nobody is going to ask you a definition. People will ask you your ideas, how good your ideas are. we so that was then, I think that's how Texas A&M helped me to have this mindset. Earlier I was like, okay, this is what is written, I have to answer like that. It doesn't go in real world. You have to be creative, and especially that if you are in a group, you will have people from everywhere, and you are also getting their ideas and working on them. I think that's what helped me most. Another thing I would like to highlight is, so majority of the grade, except for the biostatic subjects, are based on your presentation and your presentation skills and how well you talk. So this thing actually helped me to remove that hesitation which I came with. Usually in med school, I don't know about everyone, but I was very hesitant to ask questions. I
questions.
was
I was
I was
I was
a
I
lot,
was a lot,
thinking about a
thinking
lot. What
about a
if I'm
lot.
not
What
telling
if
the
I'm not telling the
good? What
good?
if it is not
What
right?
if it is not
But
right?
when you
But
are in such a
when you are in such a
scenarios where most of your
scenarios
grades
where
are
most of
based
your
on how well
grades
you
are based
present,
on
how
how
well
well
you
you
talk,
present, how well
so
you
you do
talk,
that, right?
so
Because you are
you
not
do
fear,
that, right? Because you are
nobody is
not
going
fear,
to
nobody
harm
is
you,
going
and
to. That's how I think
think
that
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 fear
fear
actually it
actually
went
it
out,
went out,
because then
because
you have a
then you
lot
have a
of
lot of
practice.
practice.
Another thing I
Another
would
thing I
also
would also
like to
like to
highlight
highlight
also about the
also about the
MPH, or
MPH,
per
or
se
per
the
se the
Texas
Texas
A&M.
A&M.
We have,
We have,
so this
so this
course curriculum, we have
curriculum, we
like
have like
45
45
credits,
credits,
but
but
out of
out
these
of these
45
45
credits,
credits,
credit
credit
needs
needs
subjects.
subjects.
Like
Like
suppose I'm
suppose I'm
taking
taking
ArcGIS
ArcGIS
software or
software or
ARC
ARC
software, it's
software.
like
It's like
3
3
credit
credit
subject,
subject,
right?
right?
So
So
out
out
of
of
these
these
45
45
credits,
credits,
they
they
will
will
give
give
you
you
around
around
10
10
or
or
11
11
credits,
credits,
like
like
3
3
4
4
subjects
subjects
you
you
can
can
choose
choose
on
on
your
your
own,
own.
and they have variety of list. I wanted to learn ArcGIS, I chose ArcGIS. Someone wanted to learn social epidemiology, they will choose this. So this is also kind of flexibility. So if you want to learn R, Python coding language, you can choose that. So this is also a kind of flexibility for you, if you how you want to, in which path you want to develop more skills. So you can even choose your elective subjects based on that. So this is how Texas A&M overall helped me. I think it kind of helped me to build my confidence and prepare me to work in a real world.
Okay. So what is delta and omega?
Okay, yeah, so it's a Delta Omega. It's an honorary society of public health. So this is Honorary Society of Public Health, which was developed in John Hopkins, and how I was inducted into it. So it's up to your graduating school. So Texas A&M School of Public Health, or every graduating school in public health in US, they choose top 25% of their students whom they think that should be in the Honorary Society of Public Health based on their grades, based on their overall work. So that's how I was chosen into this, and yeah, I'm glad and grateful I was chosen for this.
So was did it play a great role in your networking?
So I was actually, I graduated this May 2024, and I came to know that I am inducted, I think, in April. I think only thing for now it can help me is, suppose we are people of MPH student like 30 40, but if someone is Delta Omega or 2 3 people, so they will definitely going to stand out. People will know that okay, they are part of this society there, so they are in a way, worked in such a way, that's why their school must have trusted him to into that. And another thing I would say, these organizations, these societies, they have annual meetings. If you want, you can take part. They have webinars going on. You, if you want, you can take part. I have not explored that yet, because I think I didn't had much time. As soon as I graduated, I came to the job. But definitely it going to make you stand out. And because the best part is you don't get to choose, your school will choose you based on overall your performance.
Okay. So what were the challenges you faced during this whole journey as an IMG?
Yeah, that's a great question actually. Okay, so I think challenges I will divide it into two parts: challenges as an international graduate student, or and challenges as a medical student. I would say as an international student, like I highlighted, visa. You have to be, so even a student visa, like I said before, even coming, you have to think about major, because it will major in which you are going to do your MPH, it will definitely going to impact your visa duration. And even when you are graduating, so suppose I was graduating in spring semester May 2024, you have 90 days once you select a date within a 60 days. So approximately it's like 100 days within for you to find a job. So, and for this you actually start applying for a job 1 or 2 semester earlier. So that overall I want to say that this is a challenge for you, because you have to manage your studies. You have if you are doing part time, you have to manage your part time. You actually have to find a job and kind of make sure that you have a job within few months once you graduate. So this is the first challenge I would say. Second I want to highlight is the finance. By finance I means, of course, if we are coming to a university, we will take into account, okay, how much fees is this, And then we connect with the people, we come to know, okay, part-time opportunities are there. But getting part-time also takes some time, especially if you are targeting some research kind of thing, like research assistantship, teaching assistantship. It does take some time. So I would say always come prepared for expenses for at least for 1 year. That should include your fees, your living expenses, your even your groceries. So that was the second challenge. Financial management, I think, should always be there. I mean, you and best what how I did was, like, how I managed things was I actually connected with lots of people on LinkedIn who were actually in that university, international from India. I talked with them. I asked them, like, how much monthly grocery cost you. I just asked basic things, because you have to actually manage each and every single penny. So that's how I think you should manage. You should talk with people. You should ask real things, like how monthly gross you're gonna take, which apartment you're gonna choose. Of course, you these things you select before even coming. And these are the things which I'm telling, how you can reduce these challenges for you and make your life easier, so that you have an idea. Or are there any hidden fees? These are the few things I think you should take into account. And it's also a challenge thing to manage. Finance is very important when you are coming to US, and especially if you're helping from India or anywhere. It is a challenge. It's always good to be prepared about finances and have a fair knowledge about it. Another thing about as an international graduate, this I would like to highlight, is feeling of loneliness or aloneness when you come. So I think, yeah, this thing does happen when you actually shift, especially if there is not someone in that particular city you are moving to, because you have to manage a lot. You have moved whole. You have actually crossed a globe, and then you have come to a place. You have to manage your studies. You have to find your part-time jobs, and it's a lot. Sometimes it becomes a lot. So this also becomes a challenge. Sometime you may feel like, okay, whether I have taken a right decision or not. You may start judging your decision. It may happen, but I think if you need to have patience and just be in group. Find your it's not like you always be alone. Find your group, find your niche where you are comfortable, talk to people, and it's going to happen. For starting, for sure. That's how I did. I came prepared. My brother was in US, although he was in different city, but he kind of told me that you are gonna face it. So if you are ready for it, then only take the decision. And it's not bad as well. I think it's going to happen, right? When you are going to somewhere which like that, different culture, different place, different education system. So it's gonna happen, but eventually everything just have to some patience, like around for 5-6 months it takes you to get accustomed with the place. But to mitigate this, I would always say that talk to people. And also these universities, they also have their extracurricular activities going on. I was Aggie mental health ambassador. You can always join these kind of activities there, and it will also help you build your CV for extracurricular, and also help you having a good mindset or things on your personal. Okay, so I think I stressed this part a lot about talking on challenges for international graduate. I have challenges for medical graduate as well. So how would you like me to go by?
Boss, continue, I would say, about the medical graduates.
Okay,
So,
so the reason I'm actually separated both these part, because these were the things which I'm gonna tell you right now took a lot of my extra time. First, I would say, is the data analysis. I know we were familiar with epidemiology and especially the biostatistics. I would say biostatistics in our PSM, but I was not ready for the practical application. So when you come to MPS, this is also I would like to highlight. You have to actually, you will have a data in front of you. You will have situations in front of you, and then you have to decide which test you gonna run, which test would be fit for like Chi, ANCOVA, ANOVA, t-test. These are very basic things, but I think these are very helpful thing as well. So for me it was a challenge. I so If you are taking epidemiology major, biostats will come with it. So you can skip it, and it's very important as well for data analysis. So I used to spend extra hours learning about this, making a practical approach on it. And one suggestion I could also say, someone who is preparing for it or thinking about it, there are many publicly available data. If you go to the CDC sites, or I think in the statistical department site as well, there are open publicly available data. Just open that sheet, look through the Excel, look through the data, look through the code book, and just think about, okay, what would be my outcome variable, what would be my dependent variable, independent variable. These are very, I know these are very simple terms we think, but when it actually comes to put these things into practice with the real raw data, it becomes a challenge. So I think for me and someone who is trying to, coming into this pathway, you have to actually kind of shift your research you have to shift your research aptitude. So you can do these things to mitigate. This is what I did. I used actually spend extra hours on this. And second thing for me as a challenge was familiarity with technical. So I won't say that you should be very good in coding, but like I said, I was in MPH. We have like SAS and Stata subject. So I have to learn Stata coding and SAS coding, and it took me extra hours because I was not familiar. I was not good with technology. So I won't say that come learn coding in a very higher level, but just be good with it. Good with a name means like just know what these terms are, what are variables, how does this system work. Just even if you are familiar with this interface, just know okay what how this commands work. So it will help you save time. Otherwise sometimes it scares you. Initially early it scared me honestly when I have to work through these things. But yeah, with time you and with practice it comes. So I think these are the challenges as a medical graduate I personally felt like.
Okay, boss, about the challenges faced by an international graduate, I would like you to elaborate on the financial part. How much does it cost about groceries, rentals, and everything about the whole month of expense or whole year? An estimate of everything, I
So
would say.
to answer this, mhm. Okay, so I think I would start first with the university fees. Like I said, it also depends on which university you are going, public or private, what is the fees. And another thing I would also want to highlight, this university also offers you scholarships. Some people get a scholarship. So suppose I'm an international, my fees would be, suppose for one semester is $11,000. But if someone who is coming from who got an scholarship, they will get an in-state tuition, that is 5,000. So this is also things does take into account. And some people got this scholarship even before coming, and this that happened because based on their GPA or overall whatever the university felt like. But okay, so removing the scholarship part, if you don't get the scholarship, your fees would be around, public university it will be around I think 40,000 K for the whole 2 years of duration. And then come the living expense. I want to highlight, it also depends on the state you are living. I was in Texas does not have Texas that does not have taxes, and it's comparatively cheaper. So I don't recall the exact, but it was comparatively cheaper to other places if I would have been in the New York or Nashville per se. So that's also a different thing. So I think overall I would say in 2 years, I think it's, if you are not getting anything, not doing any part time. So even I got a part time. People do part time. Generally, people do get part time within I think 3-4 months of coming. Part time means not a technical like research assistant or teaching assistant, but you can always do part time in university campus dining area. That can be helpful to manage your expenses at apartment expenses and things. So I think overall, if you ask me, a budget without even doing all these integration, it around sixty thousand k for the 2 years. Definitely not more than that. But I firmly believe, and I've seen no one doing any part-time. People do part-time. People manage their expenses because at one point you have to, right? You have to also manage your research profile. So you do part-time as a research assistant or a teaching assistant too. And if you are these, if you are graduate research assistant or teaching assistant, your fees would be taken care of by the university. So this is the thing also I want to highlight that, and that's what I said. Actually, preparing for 1 year finance is a good estimate before coming, because then I think eventually you sort out things, how you're gonna manage, how your fees manage, and you can do by your own. You don't have to be fully dependent while you are studying to someone. You can actually manage your expenses once you are here. Once you have figured out part-time jobs, you can manage your expenses. Apart from fees, yes, for fees you have to think about it. You have to, maybe you have to be dependent, but once you are here, I think managing for 1 year is good, but later on I think you figure out things. There are opportunities. It's not like you will not get any part-time or research opportunities to even manage your finances.
Okay. So boss, like while doing research, do we get some if you are doing part-time jobs, you are earning something, and if we volunteer for some research and anything else, uh, do we get some monetary benefits of that as well, or it just goes by like out of your interest it matters?
Okay, so no, if you are actually working as a student research assistant, these are part-time jobs actually. You get paid, and for me personally, I think I volunteered for it because the professor I wanted to do it under, it was not open, but I volunteered and eventually I get it. So no, you will definitely get monetary support. Part-time means monetary support actually. If you are, it is an hourly basis, so 20 hours of part-time per week you are allowed to do as an international student. So that way you can actually manage your, at least your apartment cost, and the grocery cost would definitely be taken care of.
Okay, boss. Boss, what are your future goals as a research assistant? What are your future goals right now?
Okay, so my future goals, I think right now I'm thinking to lead such clinical projects where I can use both my clinical skills as well as my skills in data analysis or research, whatever I gained from the MPH course. So this is what I'm thinking. I want to lead such projects where I can make best use of my being a physician and being a public health professional or a researcher, because I want to be in both the side. I want to be working with patients or within a clinical aspect. I want to be working with the data to analyze it. So that's what my future goals are. I want to lead such projects. I want to lead such clinical projects where I can make best use of my both the skills and overall can make an impact. This is what I'm planning to make, improve my skills for it.
Okay, boss. Boss, what have been your favorite memories so far in USA?
I think my favorite memories so far, honestly, if you ask me now, right now, they were all those things which I was scared of. Honestly, even here, if you have exam next day or presentation next day, initially, you study all the night and you are so scared of. So now, when I'm doing a full time job, I think about those, and even when as a friends we talk in the group, and we were like, okay, why we were so scared of those, and I miss those, and they were like favorite memories, I would say, because in a way you learn, you scared, and that kind of thrill, and then the exam gets over, you are happy. So these are, I think, my favorite memories with the group. Overall, if you ask me one moment, I would say graduating, of course, the day of graduation. I luckily had this job in my hand, so it was also satisfying for me to go into that stage and receiving the MPH degree. So yeah, these are all my favorite moments.
Okay, boss. Boss, anything else you would like to add regarding all this process?
Uh, One thing I want to highlight or I want to emphasize for anyone who is thinking to moving abroad or uh, here, I would say please, that's the thing actually I struggled for, that is developing a good communication skill. I think I may have highlighted earlier, I would highlight it again because it's a very important, because even if you're applying for internship, even if you're applying for a job, you have to go through the interview process, you have to go through these process, and there will be rounds. So always work on your communication skill, and it doesn't matter that you have to be perfect, just be yourself, don't be scared or don't be hesitant to ask question. That's how you will develop. And if you ask me personally, before every interview I used to do mirror practice, I used to stand in front of mirror, I used to talk. So always try to express, express yourself in a way, because ultimately people are going to hear about your ideas, what ideas you have, what plans you have, how passionate you are. You may have a good bunch of knowledge about that subject, but if you're not able to express yourself, I think that makes you lag behind from a lot of people. So this thing I always want to highlight, that communication skills is very very important. And similar to that is networking skill. Networking skill, why networking skill, I mean, like I said, even before coming here, I started reaching out to people on LinkedIn. Even if you are finding a job, you have to email, you have to reach out to people on LinkedIn. And the system which works most of the time, you are emailing or reaching out to 10 or 20 people, and if they are not replying, you're like, okay, I'm not getting, okay, it's not working. You should not be, change your this mindset, reach out to like 100 or as much as you can, and if you're even getting a one reply, that's enough for you. So this is also very important. And I think this also I would like to emphasize, reach out, build networking. Whenever, if you're seeing someone's work you like, you can actually email them. I think email, I don't know about right now Astik how the email culture is there, but email culture was not good at that time. I think it was not needed at all, because we were pure clinical. But email is also a very important aspect of your life, especially we are coming, and you should definitely have this thing. I know we have so many open platform which can help you, they can help you, but sometime, they won't be always there, someone is waiting for your reply. So these communication, the verbal and the email communication is very important. Networking skill is, I would say, very important. And just reach out, don't hesitate. Like, okay, what would, no one, the worst they can say is no. Just reach out. If you like someone's work good, if you're going through a site, website, maybe the person in the US, just reach out, just email them, just find the email. That's how we search the job. That's how we search. We go page by page, we go side by side, we go to the director's profile, we reach out. That's how we do there. So develop this kind of mindset. I know that's not a very common scenario there, but if you're trying or working to come here, I think that would be something I think will be very very helpful to you once you reach.
Okay, Mas. So with this, I would like to end our session, and I guess it would have been helpful for them. And I would say they should contact you or message you if they want to get any more guidance from you.
Yes, yes, definitely. And thank you so much, everyone, for inviting. And I'm so glad for this initiative. I would want to highlight once again. I remember I just saw one LinkedIn post and I reached out because it's a very very important thing. And I think I actually saw you guys what you do on Instagram about these activities. And this is I would actually like to suggest people to take as much as part in these activities. They will develop you in holistically way. Your knowledge would be good, your research knowledge would be good, your communication, your hesitation will go away. So I'm so glad, and I wish you all the best for everything you guys are doing. And thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, boss.